So, what does it take to be a successful coach? Now, by the time you finish listening to this episode or watching this episode, you are going to know if you have what it takes to actually make it in the life coaching industry. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm not going to tell you the things that you want to hear so that I can empower you to become a coach and make money from selling you a course. That's not the kind of guy I am. I'm going to give you the actual facts, and some of them are going to be quite controversial. And if they are, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. By the way, if you've been enjoying my videos or you're new here, I share lots of content on how to grow your coaching business. I've built a $25 million coaching business within just 4 years, so I've got a lot to teach. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button if you want to get notifications. So what makes a good coach? There's lots of things, and having a combination of those things compound together is really what makes a great coach. But I'm not saying all of these things need to happen, right? There are people that have none of these things that do make it work because they have their own unique skill and ability that allows them to be successful. But I want to give you my personal opinion of the type of person that I would look at and go, I can tell that person's going to do well. And the first thing is the immediate willingness to do whatever it takes to be successful. And what I mean by that is, say for example, week 1 in our accreditation course, we ask people why they're doing this, who are they doing this for, what is it going to allow them to have, who is it going to allow them to be, and we ask them some questions and we ask them to post it in the Facebook group. The people that do that straight away, and also the people that when they start their business, the moment they're qualified and the moment they're ready, they're putting content out straight away. The ones that are eager to just get involved and not allow the fear and the perfectionism and the doubt to be stronger than their desire to succeed is an immediate tick in my box. Because as long as you've got that, you'll push through pretty much every barrier that will come your way, and you'll find solution to every problem. If you don't win straight away, you'll win eventually because you're just going for it. So that's probably got to be one of the main things. The next thing is, and a lot of people won't like to hear this because this is going to alienate a lot of people, but before I say it, don't let your inner critic go, oh, well, I haven't got that, so I can't be a coach. I'm just trying to tell you what would make a very successful coach if you were to tick all these boxes. But remember, you are not a predefined person that has one set of skills that cannot be changed. We as humans are very malleable. We can change, evolve, and adapt. I'm proof of that. I was in a prison cell not so long ago, and now I'm doing things that my brain could not even comprehend at the time. I was doing functional skills level 1 and level 2 when I was in prison, which is the maths and English lessons of a 10-year-old. And now I'm running a multi-million-dollar business with all sorts of high-level strategic numbers, operations, and strategies and things to think about. So you might not have these skills now. It doesn't mean to say that you can't adopt those skills, learn those skills, acquire them over time. But the next one is to have a ability in social media. Social media is the number one thing that's going to get you clients. We are gone of the days of giving out your business card at networking meetings and putting up flyers in your newspapers. I mean, I don't know how they built businesses back in the day, knocked on people's doors, phoned them up. God, it must have, people that were successful 20, 30 years ago, how on earth they did that, I have no idea. Knocking door after door after door, phone call after phone call after phone call, giving out flyers after flyers after flyers, only within their local area, not being able to reach the entire internet. Which is why I want you guys to realize, I always go off on a bit of a tangent, but how lucky we are to live in this day and age where you have a resource that enables you to connect to every person in the world for free. Now, we don't know the evolution of the internet. And if you look, internet and social media is changing already. They're banning certain things, they're censoring certain things. You can only send a certain amount of messages and post a certain amount of comments before you get blocked or barred or put in Facebook jail. So these are changing. So right now, we've got a blue ocean opportunity. And what I mean by that is a huge open space of opportunity to basically openly sell things online to whoever we want and just drop into someone's DM, which is the equivalent of walking into someone's front living room and selling them something. But in 2 years from now, that might get taken away. And you'll look back and go, wow, why didn't I take advantage of that? Why didn't I do that? But social media is an amazing tool, for adding value to an audience, organically through social media content on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat, TikTok, all sorts of different platforms, but also paid advertising as well. You can pay to run Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads directly to certain interests and that are targeted towards your ideal client avatar. And this stuff can be a bit techie and at first quite difficult to master. But if you allow yourself to go through that learning process and be okay with being the newbie and not expecting to get it straight away and knowing there's going to be a learning process, then you will allow yourself to get to the point where you're getting results. A lot of people fail because they go, right, I'm going to try the social media stuff, do a bit of stuff, a week later, got no clients, I'm no good at this, I'm going to give up. That sounds insane, but that's what about 50% of people do, because they assume that it doesn't work, so they try something else. But there's an expression that's change the strategy, don't change the goal, which means the goal is to use social media to get clients. And your strategy that you're using at the moment obviously isn't working. So change the strategy, but still try and get clients in social media, because there's various ways of doing it. But social media is a huge skill to be able to acquire clients. The next skill is being tech savvy. And again, it's another one kind of linked to the social media. There's a lot of the older generation that will also be thinking, that's another skill I don't have or want to have. I mean, even me, I find myself looking at, like, I know I've just spoken about the social media one, but going back to the social media one, I find myself looking at Snapchat and TikTok and thinking, I don't want to be on those platforms. I can't be bothered. That's for kids. And that's, I'm already at the point where I'm looking down at, I'm too old for that. Instagram was a new thing for me. Facebook was my thing. And that's like the old thing, So I understand people that maybe are slightly older than me, the reluctance to adopt some of these strategies on social media, as well as adopting some of the technology. But it's the way to spread your message far and wide to the world and make millions of dollars. And once you understand it, it's actually really simple. It's complicated at first because it's just something completely new. But once you learn it, it's easy. I know that sounds like a silly thing to say, but give yourself a bit of time, give yourself a bit of breathing space and you'll get it. But using technology so that you have a nice website, maybe you have a nice sales funnel, which is giving something away for free that attracts a lead. You might give an ebook or a free masterclass or a challenge or something, having a way for someone to book a call directly into your diary automatically on your website. These sorts of technological things that you can do are way better than giving out business cards and leaflets. So the more skill you have in tech, the better. Another thing, and this is controversial, I'm just going to say it because I'm as authentic as it comes, and I hope I don't get cancelled for this. And this isn't my opinion, but this is just my observation. I'm worried because I don't quite understand cancel culture. I might be on TV with Piers Morgan in a minute. Better looking people tend to do better. I can't tell you exactly why. I guess they're more aesthetically pleasing, so they're easier to watch and look at. I guess there's a certain element of even subtle unconscious attraction compels somebody and almost magnetizes you to that person. They typically have more confidence, I think, as well. I'm just actually trying to analyze it for myself in real time, but I find that when you look at the really successful people, a lot of them are good looking. Now, this doesn't go for everybody. No, but there's a lot of people that aren't as good looking as well. So I'm not saying you have to have all these criteria, but I'm saying if you have some of these, it's going to be to your advantage. Because if you're an attractive girl and you're pretty and it's really lovely to watch, you're going to find yourself getting a lot of engagement. It's as simple as that. Same with the guys. Another successful ingredient of a coach: continuous lifetime learning and development of skills. Coaching is the foundation of how we support a client. It's asking questions. But there are so many modalities that you could be using and tools that might come up where you can really powerfully serve a client. And the reason why I mention this is you have to have an open mindset to reinvest and to learn more skills and be open to lifetime learning. Education and personal development doesn't finish. You don't complete it. It's an ever-going, ongoing process. You get another coach, you do another course, you learn a new skill. And in doing that, you become a better coach because you're better within yourself, you're more confident, you're also able to provide more tools and techniques for people in different situations. Maybe breath work might be an appropriate technique one day that you could just open up that you happen to have training in. Maybe there might be a blockage of energy and you can start doing a Reiki session. And yes, you can do energy Reiki sessions online. You might decide to learn something like neuro-linguistic programming and distort and rewire different brain patterns that aren't serving them. There are 1,000,001 ways to serve a client. And the reason why that mindset of lifetime learning will help you become a better coach is because you will be getting better results for your clients. And as a result, you're going to get more referrals, more clients coming back to you again, better testimonies. And of course, that referral network will start to happen, which is obviously very important. You don't want to rely solely on a referral network because you're not in control of that. We want to be in control of our sales process, and that's definitely a video for another time. What are other components of a successful coach? Somebody who is good at understanding the way people think. Now, I know that sounds pretty obvious if you're a coach, but it's different because, for example, social media content, if you hadn't heard of that phrase at this point, is putting out written words on social media that's value-led, either by sharing a story or by giving some top tips or articulating a certain topic or theory or approach that can help somebody for free. And by doing that, you're delivering value and you're warming up potential leads, and then eventually one day you'll get a DM from them and they'll ask you a question, and then you can turn that into a discovery call and sell them a coaching program. But to be able to write that content, it's not necessarily about the grammar that you use or the words that you use. It's about understanding the mind of your client avatar. So if you haven't picked a niche yet, find another training that I've done on niche, because it exists, whether it's on this YouTube channel, whether it's on the podcast or somewhere, or just or learn it from someone else. Once you understand who your niche is, the niche falls into two areas. One is the topic that you coach on. And you don't have to be a subject matter expert to coach on it. You just ask your questions around this area. So if it's a confidence coach, you don't necessarily, teach them to have more confidence. You just coach them around their confidence. Where did this lack of confidence start? What are times where you were feeling the most confident? These are sorts of questions you can ask around a certain topic. It doesn't mean to say that you're a consultant of confidence. It means that you're a coach and you specialize in coaching around confidence. That's one part of the niche. The other part of the niche is what type of person is it? Because there's different demographics of people that are entirely different. You might have a 60-year-old lady who's just retired and her husband's died, and she's now in a house on her own and is looking to start a new hobby or do something creative to fill her time. Just completely made up that scenario, right? Or you could have a 19-year-old kid who just dropped out of university and wants to start trading cryptocurrency online. Those two people are very, very different. Now, if you start writing social media content to add value to both of those people, neither of them are going to like it because it's going to be a complete mess. So what you need to do is you need to have a niche where you pick a certain label, identity of person, and have a think about what that is. That could be yoga instructors, that could be nurses, that could be teacher assistants, parents that have autistic children, any niche you can think of. And the more narrow, the better. I've heard niches of people who help nurses that have made a mistake in their career. I also know a coach that helps people quit porn, but that's the topic. But the audience is obviously men that consume a lot of porn. The point I'm making is once you understand your client avatar, which is the exact mold of the perfect type of person that's going to be fun for you to work with, pay you the most money, and build your business, you then need to truly understand what's in their mind. What are their pain points? What things are causing them distress and frustration? And also, stories and things that they'll connect to and relate to around that. Is once you understand the pains, things that cause them discomfort, the desires, the things that these people want, and you know the language that they use and stories that they can relate and connect to, you can write things that captivate them, that connect with them, that build rapport with them, that they understand, and show them that you specifically help people just like them. You want people to be like chuckling along at it, not because it's funny, but because they relate to it and connect to it and feel like, wow, this person is almost like they've written this for me. This isn't just social media content. This is all the content in your website. This is what you put in your course that you might create. This is going to be every product, every bit of marketing material, even every word that you say when you're at a speaking at an event or a networking meeting, or someone asks you what you do in an elevator. I say elevator because you know an elevator pitch? They call it an elevator pitch because if you're in an elevator and you've got 1 minute and someone says, oh, what do you do? You need to be able to very quickly define what you do. I help audience with pain point, use, vehicle, i.e. the type of coaching you do, get to desired outcome. And if you can say that on as many platforms as possible, there'll be people going, wow, that person helps people like me with the pain that I've got get to the outcome I'm looking for. I guess what I need is the vehicle they're using, which by the looks of it is porn addiction coaching. Brilliant. Hey, Mr. Porn addiction coaching guy, can we jump on a call and talk a little bit more about what you do? You've got yourself a client. So understand your client. Anyway, there's probably more. I might do a part 2 of this because I could ramble on for hours. But there are a few things that make a successful coach. And drop some more in the comments of what you believe to be a successful coach, traits that are needed. And I'll do a part 2 at another point and add to this once I've actually thought about this, because at the moment I'm just doing it from the top of my head. But anyway, if you've got any of those characteristics, you're in a good place. And if you don't, go and get them. And then you'll still be able to be successful. Good luck. I'm Raymond Taylor, and I'm going to show you how to create a freedom-based online coaching business from scratch.